If you've ever been inside of a high school foreign language class, then it comes to no surprise to you that watching foreign shows that are in another language while having English subtitles is actually a pretty good way to learn that language. So many people have listed anime as being one of the best ways to learn Japanese, assuming that you're doing it in addition to taking classes. However, this got me thinking, why can't we just use anime to learn other languages as well? After all, we can adjust what language the subtitles are in, right? So in theory, we should be able to learn twice the amount of languages in the same amount of time. In fact, there seems to be no downsides. When I came up with this theory inside of my head, it made perfect logical sense. So, naturally, I decided to set up an experiment to test our hypothesis that anime can help you learn foreign languages. What I ended up doing was, first, I tested out myself watching an episode of anime with a Japanese dub and English subtitles. Then I watched the same episode with subtitles in Russian and Italian and Portuguese. The watch session with English subtitles acted as a control for me to compare the other results to, so that way I could see if I made any progress in the other languages. But could you imagine my surprise to find that not only did I not make any progress in any of the languages, but in fact, I barely made any progress in Japanese as well. The way that I tested out how much progress I had made is by attempting to read out a sentence inside of this language. First off, for the control, I attempted to read a sentence in Japanese. But, as it turns out, listening to Japanese while reading the English subtitles does not actually teach you how to read Japanese. Overall, this was a fail. Next up, for Russian, I found myself being supremely confused because I could not read the Cyrillic alphabet. Thus, I couldn't even compare the Russian words to those of the very few Japanese words that I actually know. This one was also a fail. I had better luck with Italian and Portuguese, but that had little to do with watching anime, and more to do with my previous experience with the Spanish language. In terms of actual progress that was made with these languages, I can safely say that none of it came from watching the anime. Overall, I found these results to be extremely surprising. As it turns out, you cannot just put the dub and the sub in separate different languages and expect to learn more within the same amount of time. I hope that everyone can learn from my mistakes and that you will save some time in your life by not attempting to do this at home.